I wasn't always like this, but sometimes it happens. I forget everything and I just do stuff.
Beneil Dariush! Welcome to UFC Unfiltered.
Please tell me that's on video. I've never been happier.
I'm made for a fucking podcast. That's dangerous. Listen to me, we're at it.
Welcome to UFC Unfiltered.
Hold on, no, we did it.
As Matt, welcome to Unfiltered. As Matt's green screen is coming apart. Oh, the whole system is collapsing.
Don't show the back. Don't show the background. I'll tell you right now.
It wasn't anything bad.
Don't show my messy room, Jimmy. You'll get me. I'm not afraid of a lot of things.
Look at my messy room.
Yeah, but do you have a wife? Do you have a wife?
No.
Well, I fucking do. So unless you want to have the fury of my wife, which you're not going to deal with, I'm going to deal with.
You'll deal with it, yeah.
So my fucking background.
I would actually egg her on if she was furious at you. I told him not to show it, but he insisted.
I'm not yelling at you, Jimmy. Jimmy.
I understand. Everyone's afraid of their wives. It's normal.
Akaash
Singh, yeah.
He's very funny.
Yes, he is.
On the podcast with Andrew Schultz.
Flagrant 2 he does. I don't know, I'm screaming. And he just put out a special, and what they're doing over there is just so amazing. The way those guys have built that up, and Akaash is a big part of that. So
I want to hear about it.
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Yes, buddy.
Wait, Jimmy.
Yes. Yes.
I look good.
I was just thinking that.
I didn't mean it like that, but I've been rolling a little bit.
Good.
I grabbed one of my black belts. He's like a slender guy, like little Frida, little slender. I grabbed him.
Yeah.
And he's and then I rolled with some of the girls. Some of my black belts. I've been. My knee feels good, and I'm very happy about that, Jimmy. I'm very happy about that. Oh, I pushed back my surgery with my knee. Yeah,
you were saying you're going until maybe February.
I'm doing it in April.
April's fine. Yeah.
Fuck, man. Let me push that shit back. I'm doing all right now. I just got back. Now it's going to be the dead of winter, and I'm going to be one-legged during Christmas. Fuck that.
Well, you'll also, the worst one was replaced, and it will be stronger. So, yeah, you won't be rehabbing this one at all anymore by the time you get the new one fixed. What are we in now? October, November, December, January, February? Yeah, 6 months. That's fine.
See, I joke. Sometimes I joke around too much. There's a guy who's just literally just now. I like to this is my day so far. Not that you asked, but can I tell you my day? We got a couple.
I always want to know. Yeah, plenty of time
before Akaash joins us.
Yes.
Yes. So I start the day. I get up around 5:15 in the morning, which you might be surprised by. Okay.
I am actually. You get up a lot earlier than I do.
Well, really? A lot earlier?
Yeah, I do morning radio. I get up at 6:45 because we start at 8 instead of 7.
Can I tell you the big difference, though? Big difference.
Yeah.
I might get up earlier, right? But I do get to come home around 10 o'clock and I get to nap. I nap.
Yeah.
I get a 2-hour nap.
Of course.
So don't look at me like I'm a fucking hero.
Yeah.
Well, Jimmy, you can look at me like I'm a hero.
I do, because you wake up and you still go and teach classes that early.
Well, anyway, I have a great time. We had 28 people there today. Close to 30 people. Let's round it up. 30 people starting the day. I spit on my screen. I'm sorry. That's gross.
Okay. I couldn't see it.
I get excited. But 30 people in the morning starting their day with me screaming. Anybody. I could be any one of my students.
Trust me.
You got help.
I know what that sounds like. Trust me. I know. I understand.
It could be annoying. So anyway, took a nap, came back. The family's out. They're doing shopping today.
Where do you nap?
I'm at my house.
No. Where do you nap at your house? Or do you nap at the school?
Yeah, no, I nap at my house. I nap at the school too. Just ask Aljo and Marab. I don't know if their cameras are rolling, but
where will you nap? Will you just go on the mat, or will you go up to the office?
No, not John Danaher or Gordon Ryan. That's some hardcore shit. I got a couch in my lounge. I'll go right in there and but then I come out, nobody knows I'm in there. So I'll just come out and stretching like the fucking monster.
Will you set your alarm, or will you just wake up?
No, I'll usually set my alarm if I'm either place, because who knows? I could be in a fucking coma. So anyway, I woke up had some coffee, had some espresso. I shaved my head and went outside. I smoked a little reefer in my car. So I get out and the fucking guy's got a car that says driving school on it. And I guess he's waiting for the kid across the street, literally parked in the middle of the street, right? And he's out of the car. So I guess he's waiting. I go, dude. I didn't go, dude. I go, my man, I go, driving school. I go, it's a horrible parking job. That's a terrible advertisement for your company. The guy's just like looking at me, fucking feel like Italian guy looking at me. I don't know the guy, but I'm trying to be friendly.
Yeah, you're having fun.
I'm having fun, Jimmy.
Yeah.
He's looking at me, right? And I'm like, I go, like, the kid's gonna fail his road test. And he's like, and he gave me like a chuckle. Like, oh, okay, who are you here for, Johnny? He goes, no, Joseph, the oldest. I go, oh, okay, good, have a good day. But I thought I tried to be fun, but at first I felt it was
backfiring.
Looking at me, definitely backfiring.
It was backfiring.
And I'm like, all right, the guy's just looking at me. So I had to run with it about the road test. And then he gave it a little chuckle on the second one.
That was the polite, I understand you're joking and I'm not going to get angry.
Listen, hey, you want to go to sleep on my front lawn? It's up to you, motherfucker. I'm having a good time. I don't know how your day's going, but if you park like an asshole in front of my house, I'm allowed to have a good time.
Yeah.
So Jimmy.
So what are you saying? Go to sleep on the front lawn. Do you mean that you would have brought him a pillow? Or are you saying if
you want to come over tonight for a little camp out? No, that's not what I meant, Jimmy.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see.
Hey, what do you see?
If the man had stepped out, you were in your I Heart Jiu-Jitsu shirt, and you would have helped him with a nap.
I love teaching jiu-jitsu. I have such a good time. I wanted to, by the way, there's a rumor, and I don't want to say anything premature because for one, it might not be happening, and two, I don't want to put you on the spot.
Sure.
And I don't think there's a three. I thought there was three things.
No, there's two.
There's only. I don't got to rack my brain. It's you. We don't got to go. It's not really a number thing.
No,
it's more of like 2 points.
Sure.
I heard that I know I got approached to do another watch party.
Yes.
Oh, it's not a big deal.
Yes. By the way, they could take it out. If it's a big secret, they could always take it out.
I like to build things up. And you're just like, yeah, Jimmy, I had fun the first. I did
too.
Can I put this on the record?
Sure.
And it has nothing to do with Marab because Marab was there when I was with Longo. If I had, and it's not nothing to do with, I love Marab. If it was me and Marab, it might be a different story. I did a couple of these. I did one with you. Oops.
Yep.
Almost lost you. And then I did one also at Longo's house. Now, I know Longo. Literally, I met him at 17. You would think, old pals. It's definitely going to be, it's all in the setting. You put me and Longo in certain settings, I'll be, man, put a camera on us. This is great. I never watched that episode of that, what happened with us, but I do know one thing, how hey, listen, you want me to do it at Longo's? How about this? Double the fucking price. Double the fucking price. It's about common courtesy. I'm an animal person.
Sure.
I love dogs.
Sure.
You know?
Oh, did his dog keep wandering in the shop? I love
Jimmy. Jimmy. The phone is the fucking dog. And I'm eating a slice of pizza. I go, I can't do it with the breath in my face. Longo, he's not even lucky. No, how about unlucky, motherfucker? Grab this dog and get it. How about you get in the next room? Did you see all the cameras? Dude, I mean, even when we left, and I'm not throwing Marab under the bus, but Marab is like, and I don't know how it is in Georgia. We walked out of the Longo's after deal, and dude, it didn't get any better.
No, of course not.
The dog was there's no bad animals. There's only bad owners.
Are you saying the dog was begging for food consistently?
The dog was, yes. I'm sorry if I didn't really, did I
Oh, no, you did. I just like hearing it.
Jimmy, it was,
you spoiled it.
It was the most annoying fucking thing ever. His dog would not get the fuck out of the room. It was breathing all over us. Even Marab was sad. We left. He goes, Matt, I love you. I love Reg, but this is crazy. The dog he even knew it's not normal.
Well,
Nothing
if you remember,
Longo. So when they asked me to do it again, I go, well, let me hear what they're gonna, and it's gonna be, and they said they asked, with you. I go, oh, well, listen,
yeah.
And then they said maybe you can even. I don't listen. It's your place. We're gonna do it at your place. I hope.
Yes, if my construction is done and my furniture's back, but I'm thinking it will be. I'll know by next week.
Dude, I don't know. Maybe a comedian buddy or two. I don't know. Gee,
I've already requested one.
Why am I inviting people to your house?
I want Bob Kelly to do it.
I was going to say, you know how this all came about just now, me thinking of this whole thing? We were talking about jiu-jitsu, and I was thinking if his son was still training, young Max.
Oh, young Max. Yeah, he might be.
I know he got a stripe or two, and then I was going to bring up if he was training, because I see that he dropped a little weight.
Yeah.
You know any of this? I'm sure you do.
Yes, of course.
And I want to know if he was training. So then that got to me thinking of the watching party.
Now, if you remember, though, when we were at my house, there was a giant cockroach that ran into the living room that I had to chase and kill, which was embarrassing.
Really? I don't remember.
Maybe it's before you got there. There's a water bug.
No,
I think they sneak in from the bathroom.
I'm not going to lie. I was there, Jimmy. I thought it was like a prop. I thought it was a prop from like Jurassic Park. That thing was huge.
I know.
Dude, Jimmy, I don't want to say nothing.
I know.
You might have a friend over, a special friend.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be saying that you got bugs or anything, because it's very, you got like a penthouse. Was that what a penthouse is? Is that what you call a penthouse?
Well, you can't help it because they come out. There's a couple of like little holes from construction that weren't closed up, things that you don't notice, but a bug will come up on the pipes and walk out.
You don't want that.
Fucking no.
I
hate it too.
There was a time I didn't know nothing about stink bugs. That's not proper English.
Yeah.
I didn't know nothing about stink bugs. Dude, I gotta listen. I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
I did not know what stink bugs were.
I was not aware of a stink bug.
I was not aware of stink bugs, Jimmy. And me and my wife and all my 3 kids, they were younger, right? We were up by my sister's and like over the near the Catskills, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, you want to stay? It's a beautiful, like, wake up in the morning, you drink your coffee right on the porch and look over, you see the trees and the mountains, and it's nice. It's right off the highway." And and it's like, yeah, it's a bed and breakfast. So that's what we were doing. So we stayed there. I said a bug, and we killed it. You don't kill a stink bug. Do you know about these stink bugs?
Can they give off a stink, right?
Well,
I mean, you did indicate before when you said, "I don't know nothing about no stink bugs."
This is the thing.
You really Long Islanded up.
I was really playing the role.
But I guess they smell if you kill them, right? They release something.
Fuck, that's the least of your problems, Jimmy. It was like they just kept appearing more. We got up to like 15, 16, 17. We're like, we're out. Come on, kids. We woke up the kids. It's an hour and a half from my house.
If you kill one, more show up?
If you kill one, it sets off some kind of, you know what I like about you? With me and my stories and my ADD, you bring me back. It's like you're a little cowboy. I picture you like dressed like the little cowboy from Toy Story, and you lasso me in and you bring my brain back. Bring me back again. Where was
I? You were talking about, you woke everybody up. You're like, all right, that's enough. 17 of these has showed up.
Yeah. So the stink bugs, you kill one and it attracts more.
The smell probably does.
And
yeah.
No matter how many we'd get, we'd fucking boom. So we had to ring the bell of the lady. We woke up the kids. We're like, I'm not doing it. My wife said, this is not happening. I'm not waking up with these bugs all over us and shit. And I agreed. I go, look, it's like a little under 2 hours to get home. Let's get the fuck out of Dodge. So we did that in the middle of the night, like fucking Italian-American ninjas. So I woke up the lady at the house, the church house, whatever the fuck it was. It was a weird setup they had. And she's like, oh, those are the whatever bugs. I don't think she called them stink bugs.
Stink bugs, yeah.
Yeah, they are stink. But she goes, oh, yeah. When that happens, when you find one, you have to just, put it in the toilet and flush it or get it out of the. Well, thanks, lady. That could have been brought up to us yesterday. I'm like, what are you saying? But hey, fucking dude. Anyway, that's my adventures with stink bugs.
Yeah, I don't know if I've had any.
This episode, we're really tackling the big topic.
Well, I mean, look, we'll talk about 280. We're obviously going to be watching that. It's October 22nd, Abu Dhabi, 10 a.m. prelims, 2 p.m. main card. It's an incredible card. I'm glad you're not going because that means we can do this together with Aljo fighting Dillashaw there in the co-main. I wasn't sure if you were going to be there or not, but this is a very stacked card. This is a great. Makachev against Oliveira is what a great fight.
I'm doing a selfie. Hold on, we're talking about that right now.
Sure.
But let's do a selfie. Only because my kids just sent me a selfie. Wait, why are you putting a funny face?
I'm not. I'm leaning in.
No, I go, let's do a selfie. And also, I say, shit, like,
no.
be a normal human being for 2 seconds. Let me see. So I look like I did.
How do I look in the picture? Do I look okay?
Wait, hold on. I sent it to the right person.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I sent that to them. Jimmy.
How do I look in the picture?
Yeah, I didn't look at it close up.
Make sure I look okay.
My family.
I want to make sure I look handsome.
Jimmy, who are you picking with? Jimmy, it's so silly. What was I going to say? Who are you picking with that? Tell me.
I want all of. I don't know. Makhachev looks so good. I know it's hard to pick against Oliveira though because he's. I mean, he hasn't lost in a while, and
this is why I can't pick. In my heart, I really like both fighters, and I like that. Islam is like, he's one of my favorites because I love how he embraces his. I love his. First of all, his takedowns are beautiful. His grappling is beautiful, but at the end of the day, in the grappling arts, him and his Habib and them, and I love those guys.
Yeah.
I was on their side with the O'Connor thing. You always, I'm not a little bird like you on a fence. Jimmy, no. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's drawing swords.
I was on their side and everything, but they carry the Sambo flag. They carry the Sambo flag. Ask me what I think about that at the end of the day, please.
At the end of the day, if you find out someone carries the Sambo flag, I heart jiu-jitsu.
Did you see what I'm doing right here?
Yes, you're showing your nipples. It's I heart jiu-jitsu.
Akaash is in the waiting room.
Yeah, we could talk about this with Akaash. He is a UFC fan. I got to say, Makhachev has fought some good guys, but he has not beaten the level of fighter that Oliveira has beaten. Oliveira has beaten Kevin Lee Ferguson, Chandler, Gaethje, and Poirier. I mean, in a row.
I want to hear the guy, he watches the fights. He's not just a silly guy. Let's ask Akaash Singh.
Let's see what he thinks. I might take. I think Oliveira wins this fight.
I do. Well, I'll tell you what I think. When we're back, ready? Let's go.
Hey, Akaash, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, buddy? How are you?
Good to see you again.
Good to see you again, man.
How are you, Akaash? Nice to see you.
It's Matt.
Nice to see you, Matt.
Nice to meet you.
Nice.
You're a real fight fan too. You watch UFC.
No, I'm a casual. I'm not going to pretend I'm a massive.
Oh, okay.
I would love to impress you guys, but I'm very much a casual. Andrew's a big fight fan.
Yes. How often do you watch?
If Izzy is fighting, I'll watch, and then I'll keep up with the big fights usually.
He's fighting fighting at the Garden on the card in November 12th, I think it is. He's fighting Alex Pereira.
Sadly, I have Comedy on State, which is an amazing club, so I can't even back out of it. Yeah. But I've wanted to go there this whole time, so I finally get to go there, and now I'm missing this fight.
Yeah, it sucks.
I would have been there for sure.
We were going to ask about the Islam fight versus Oliveira, but we don't have to ask about that. We can ask about that Izzy fight. Obviously, you're going to be going with Izzy, but you know the history with him and Alex Pereira.
No, I don't. Please fill me in.
What? Akaash!
I'm a casual. It would be way worse if I pretended I knew things.
That is true.
Hey, I'm a dummy. School me on everything.
I agree, but you are friends with Izzy, or that's your guy that you want to support.
Yes, I'm lovers with Izzy. If one day I play my cards right.
Listen, the thing with this fight, why this is so dangerous? He's such an amazing striker, Israel Adesanya, as everybody knows.
Yeah.
The guy he's fighting beat him twice in kickboxing. Once gas, you know that, of course.
A decision, and he knocked him out.
And he knocked him out.
I don't put stock in that.
No?
As a guy who's watched upwards of a dozen fights in my life, I just think that was so long ago, and Izzy's gotten so much better since then, and has been in UFC learning to grapple and all that. I don't think this guy's gonna be able to hang.
But this is what I wonder about that fight, because Adesanya is like a guy like Blachowicz beat him. I mean, again, Jan was heavier, with grappling. So Izzy doesn't really grapple unless it's necessary. And what's in his head, because he's such a confident fighter. Like you saw him against Paulo Costa. He's just unfucking flappable, Adesanya. But what's in his mind fighting a guy in what will probably be close to another kickboxing match? What is it like for him fighting a guy he has lost to twice? Like his psychology is so unflappable. Does it? I don't know. Maybe it won't affect him at all. And I'm wondering.
So I don't know what age those fights were, but I remember Izzy came on our podcast the first time before he was the belt holder or anything like that. He was, I think, 30 years old. And he said, when I was 27, something changed for me mentally. I just started to get way more confident. I started to really apply myself, figure out what I needed to do. And that was 2016, I think he was 27 years old. So I don't know if those fights are before or after, but I do think he's mentally in a very different headspace than he was back then.
Oh, well, they were probably before. This was before UFC. I think he's only lost one fight in MMA, and that was to a heavier fighter. Yeah, I mean, that was the fight.
I think was his name.
Blachowicz, right? Yeah, he went up to fight the light heavyweight champion, and it was a decision. Izzy was competitive. It was just he was laid on by a much heavier guy.
He just put his weight on him the whole time.
Yeah, Blachowicz. I thought that made Blachowicz look worse than it made Izzy look, because Blachowicz should have done more as an experienced grappler and such a much stronger guy.
Oh, okay. Because casual, I watched the fight, but I'm just a guy who's like, man, Izzy's undefeated. I know this is a big thing going up in weight class, but I was worried people were going to look at him because he hadn't lost and the shine was going to be taken off.
Nah, you can't go undefeated forever. Not in MMA. And Izzy's not picking fights. Like, they say Mayweather might have chosen a few. Adesanya will fucking fight anybody. So no, I respected him a lot for doing that.
And the true fighters respect the fact that he went up to risk.
Yeah.
Bigger the risk, the bigger reward. If he would have landed a kick or a punch or a triangle and finished that fight, people they're building statues of the motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was worth the risk. And a guy like himself, I don't look at he went out of that fight pretty much unscathed. Yeah. He lost on takedowns, which could pretty much happen to everybody.
And he was very humble in defeat, which I thought was because everybody thinks he's so arrogant. To be so humble in defeat, I thought was great for him.
That's funny. I never thought he came across arrogant. He's very confident. And fuck, he can dance. He does that fucking pop lock and shit. You ever see him dance? He fucking dance. I can't.
He's a handsome son of a bitch. I love this guy.
You know what I was thinking about just now? I don't know because we're all sitting down, but I'm assuming are you like myself? I'm only 5'6". How tall are you, guys?
5'7".
Jimmy?
I'm about the same. I'm between both of you.
This is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking, because I was reading a little, Jimmy, you tower over us. I was reading in the bio about you, how you met your future wife, or your wife, I'm sorry, fiance.
Current wife, yeah.
You met her at a comedy club.
Yeah.
So she's a comedy fan. So it got me thinking, right? And I'm not a comedian. I'm just a silly guy. You guys are professionals. But I am silly enough where I have a personality.
Right.
I wonder, what is the average height of all the comedians out there? Think about all your buddies. Because you need something else if you're under 5'8". If you do statistics, the taller guys, or whatever you're into, or the other men. I don't want to offend anybody, but the taller guy, they got it fucking made. Yeah. The taller guys got it fucking made. I see them going up and doing pranks and this and that, and they're all tall and the girls. We needed something else. I say me. I threw me in there with you guys. I should.
Sure, it's fair.
I said I wasn't gonna, but I am.
That's all right.
We got to charm girls into liking us.
We have to charm girls into liking us. Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
What do you think about that? What is it? If there was statistics, do you think a lot of comedians, are you guys eye to eye with them, or are they all? They're not.
I'm not eye to eye with many people on Earth, to be honest with you, unless I go to India.
Me too, though. Me too.
But
is there anything
Jim,
there,
what do you think?
Eye to eye as far as like meeting girls. I mean, you're always the better look. Like they say, a sense of humor. Women love that, but they only love it if there's another guy who looks like me who isn't funny. Then it helps. Then my sense of humor means something. But it can help you, I guess. Like being funny, if it depends on what you're talking about, weeds out a lot of women who don't think I'm funny because I'm gross or I'm too sexual. But the ones that do like me are troopers. Like the ones that do stick around are usually not afraid to get their fingers dirty, if you know what I mean.
I will say, if I could talk to my younger self, I would tell them true confidence, not cockiness, not playing at confidence, true confidence and just being like, hey, if she says no, it's no big deal.
Yep.
It's actually kind of funny and I'll move on.
Take
I think that could take you so far.
Yep.
So far. I mean, you see those gorgeous girls with like, there's a girl who works at ESPN. She's so beautiful. Her name is Malika Andrews. And I think she's engaged to Dave McMenamin, who's the dorkiest, redheaded. I mean, the guy just brings so little to the table, looks wise, but he probably had the confidence to ask.
Is he a comic?
Out there.
What's he do?
Writer. He's a writer. Who wants to marry a writer? Dork. Journalist.
He has quiet confidence. Here's what the problem is. He's a redhead, but he probably has a giant dick, and he probably is just quietly confident. That's why he writes. He doesn't even need to talk. His dick does all the talking.
Could be. It could be. You know, but I thought it has to, there's something there because I've heard. I'm not making this up because I'm 5'6". I could just be putting this out there. No, I've heard that they say that funny is sexy. I don't know. Yeah. I'm not saying it.
I think it's charming.
I'm not coming on. Yeah. I'm not a witch.
No.
I'm just letting you know.
I wouldn't mind.
I hope it is.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I think charming is sexy and funny is charming.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I don't know. You think, what about Andrew Dice Clay? Is that fucking charming?
Sure, he has a charm to him.
Licking the asshole. I don't know. Yeah, that's not exactly charming.
He's like your naughty friend saying things he's not supposed to say. Yeah, women loved him. I was on the road with him for a few years. I would occasionally get laid because he didn't cheat. So anybody who wanted to fuck him was like, well, you got me or nothing.
I did not know that, but I remember you put him on your show, Down and Dirty on HBO.
I did. I mean, I'll never be able to repay him for I was on the road with him for 3 years. Mm-hmm. So he changed my career. So I'll never be able to totally repay what he did. But in the moment I had his show, was all I could do is I was happy to have him on there.
Yeah.
And HBO was like, yeah. They were like, you think he'll do it? And I was happy he did it. How is your special doing, man? I was really happy for you that you came out. You did it online, right? Which was
very
smart.
And from Andrew Schultz, I just basically did what he did.
Yep.
And put out a special online, and I wanted to put out something that was personal to me. And I don't like the whole I don't want to say the woke movement or whatever. It just got out of control. I also don't want to be a guy who just says obnoxious, offensive, not funny things, and it's like, oh, free speech.
Right.
But I was
dangerous.
Like, that's whack too. But I found like funny has to you got to ride the line. You got to be willing to take some risks, and we can't all be so offended. And I was looking at Indians who were complaining about Apu, like, that's the worst that happened to us. That's pretty good. That's not that bad. So I just wanted to make a special that was kind of like, I don't think most Indians feel that way deep down. And I wanted to speak for us, hopefully. And so the reception was like way better than I thought it would be. I think we got like 1 million views in a week.
It's amazing.
And again, I didn't have like any real TV shows or anything behind me, just the podcast. So it was a really cool thing.
Yeah, no one cares about doing TV. Like, I mean, they're helpful more than they're not helpful, but doing podcasts is more valuable than anything. Andrew, with the show you guys do together, Rogan, any of those guys are so much more valuable because listeners are more invested. They're not just casually flipping through. They're like there to hear what you have to say. And
100%.
It's much better. I love it. I love that the shitty TV networks are taking a beating. Because they just ignored everything and did it their own way. I love it. I love the fact that Gutfeld on Fox is #1, driving everybody fucking crazy. Yeah,
That's
#1 guy in late night. I love it.
Well, first of all, I think the flipping through thing is really, I don't think that's a thing of the past. I think people might still have cable. On cable, I have this, my wife has some of the shows with like the little people and the heavy people, heavy people, the real
well, it's obvious she likes the little people. Yeah, of course.
What, excuse me? I know there's something to that. She's watching My Big Life, 18 little people running around. I go, honey, anyway. But but she has certain shows she watches. But there's no, let me flip through the fucking channels. There's no, all right, let's get together, watch David Letterman at night. I don't think that happens anymore. Johnny Carson.
People might check who's on, like, hey, who's Fallon have, or who does Colbert, or who does this guy? Like, you might flip through those to see who the lead guest is or something. But yeah, maybe they don't. I know I don't flip through. I don't watch any of that shit.
Fuck, I hate Hulu because of fucking commercials. Fuck that shit. Who's watching commercials?
I don't think Hollywood knows, though. Andrew has said this to me. He went on a movie set, and everybody there seemed to still think it was the biggest deal in the world to be in Hollywood. And I was doing voiceover for a show on Netflix, I think. and I was flying out to LA, and I'm like talking to people, and just the cluelessness of these people and like the disconnection from the rest of America. It was, I don't know, it was just staggering. And I was like, oh, you guys really don't know the entire entertainment revolution that's happening. You have no idea.
I was talking to somebody recently about something I was pitching, and we were talking about possible places to go do press. It was just a long conversation. And I was like, well, I know Joe for a long time. And they're like, yeah, but we're thinking like even bigger like this. And they were talking about like the morning show circuit. And they weren't being dicks, but I was thinking like, there's no morning show. I don't give a fuck if it's Good Morning America, any of the other, none of them have the impact that Joe has.
No.
Nothing on CNN. All of CNN doesn't have the impact he does. And I think sometimes people confuse the fact that they don't agree with something and they forget like that's not relevant. What's relevant is this is the most powerful medium in the entire entertainment industry. It's probably bigger than doing, I think you can get more press or as much press doing Rogan as you can doing something with Oprah at this point.
It's the biggest thing since Carson, I think.
Yeah.
For an entertainer.
Yeah, or Oprah. I mean, Oprah had the afternoons, but like people didn't necessarily talk about Ellen. They would, share her clips and stuff, but it didn't really move it didn't move anything culturally. Whereas Joe
I think
does.
if you're a comic, I think even like Oprah, like cute, if you're like a cute act, Ellen, Oprah, Fallon, all these things are going to do a lot for you. But Rogan, and to your point about disagreeing with somebody making them irrelevant, you could disagree with Trump all you want to. He was president for 4 years. That was pretty relevant.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I didn't agree with him on many things. He was president for 4 years. He's still very relevant. So
yeah, but it's funny how people do that where they like, they'll look at something like, oh, I wish this guy wasn't saying this shit, but he is and it's working. So instead of just going, you know what? They'll go, well, let's just do this other thing. And it's like, the other thing is not as good as this thing. You know what I mean? Because they don't agree with it.
Yeah, 100%.
Let me ask you, well, we still got you. Let me ask you really quick. Now, I love the, every time I watch the Flagrant 2, when I catch shit on YouTube, it's great.
It's a great show.
Chemistry. You and Andrew Schultz. You can't fake chemistry. It's one of the fucking, I've seen guys on shows that I don't like and guys in different things, like the late, great Norm Macdonald, or certain things which I didn't like. Him and Adam Ege, that was fucking gold. When I see you with Andrew Schultz, you guys are great. You guys are fun.
Thank you so much, man. Yeah.
How did that come about, the Flagrant 2?
We've been friends for like 15 years to the point that you can't fake chemistry. I moved out to New York and we were both doing a show in Brooklyn in like the hood circuit, the hood rooms. And the show got canceled. And I remember I just moved to New York. I didn't know skinny jeans were like fashionable. And I was like, this dude is dressed super gay. He got skinny jeans. He had like a mohawk at the time. But anyway, we shook hands and then the show got canceled. So he gave me a ride home. And then we started talking about comedy and we just had all the same taste in comics. Like every comic he liked, I liked. It was crazy. And then we just kept in very light contact for like a year. And then I started doing comedy a lot where he was performing at the Village Lantern. And we just got really close. And over the next like 12, 13 years, we just maintained a friendship. And then when he was thinking about starting a second podcast, he reached out to me and I was like, absolutely, there's nothing I would rather do. So it just grew from there.
I'm sorry, Jimmy. I'm sorry. When did you know you were onto something? The pilot, the episode. When did you know? I don't know if it was a pilot. When did you know when you sat down, you filmed the Flagrant 2, you were like, oh, this is gonna be fun. We got something here.
I knew we had something, but I didn't know how big it would get. I just knew we had good chemistry. That's like that's a thing. I'm not gonna say I'm the most talented guy, but I always recognize chemistry. And I knew he and I always had chemistry. And then when Mark Gagnon came and Alex Meady got more involved, they're also on the podcast. It's the chemistry. Just you knew there was chemistry there. You
could feel that, and it really is. It's something that you can't prove in court, but you just know when you have it. And the thing I love about that show and you guys is very generous with information. Like nobody does Instagram reels or all that stuff better than you guys do for your show. No one does that shit better. And yet if you call Andrew and you go, hey, I have a question, it's like, yeah, man. And he'll literally try to walk you through it so you can do it as well. He's not a hoarder of that because that's a confidence thing. Yeah. It's like a good fighter not wanting to train another fighter because they might get good too.
Right.
He's comfortable training somebody else so they get good too. It's really, I think I love about him.
Yeah, it really is. And I think that's probably a Joe Rogan legacy is Joe has been so giving with his platform and so generous that I think anybody who benefited from Joe feels like, and Andrew's a very giving guy, but I think even more so, you're like, I have to pay this forward. I can't take for granted what I've been given.
Right, because you can't be afraid. And before we wrap with you, because we have our next guest is coming in shortly, I want to make sure we promote everything you want to promote. Because I just love that you did this online, and I love that it's succeeding.
Thank you so much.
Every fucking nail in the coffin of douchey executives making decisions, I cheer for. And believe me, I still want the douchey executives to like me, but they just don't.
Same.
It's frustrating, right?
Yeah.
Now you're coming up, the Big Deal Energy Tour. How much more do you have of that, and where are you going to be besides Madison, Wisconsin?
We're wrapping up the Big Desi Energy Tour. Desi is like a term for like South Asians. It's honestly a marketing term.
Oh wait, did I say that wrong? That was how it was.
It's all good. Yeah, it's all good. It's Desi is like so sometimes if you try to market to Indians, Pakistani people, or Bangladeshi people, are like that's
Big Desi. Sorry, buddy.
So Desi, it's all good. So we got Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania this week, the 6th through the 8th. Then next week I'm in Virginia Beach, Virginia, 14th and 15th at the Funny Bone. Then the week after that, I am off, but then Halloween weekend, I'm in Helium in Philly, and then November 4th and 5th, Atlantic City, and then I'm going to be in Madison, Wisconsin, November 11th and 12th, and then the last weekend is Caroline's, November 17th through the 19th, and we wrap it up for the year. Couple shows next year. I'm going to be at the Wilbur, January 14th, my first theater. Super excited.
Awesome. Fucking animal doing all these gigs is great. Isn't it great? And by the way, here's what this just convinced me is that I do have to wear my glasses during the podcast. I don't want to because I've convinced myself that I'm not a blathering old fucking man. But I read the D-E and I saw the I with the dot look like an L. The Big Deal.
All good,
and Big Deal Energy. It doesn't even make sense. The Big Desi Energy Tour. And where can people see the special?
It's on YouTube. It's called Bring Back a Poo. I also dropped a crowd work special 1 month later that I also think was really cool. I ended up being really happy with it. So there's a crowd work special. There's a Big Desi Energy special, a bunch of clips on YouTube and TikTok, Akaash Singh Comedy on TikTok, Akaash Singh Comedy on YouTube, and Akaash Singh on Instagram.
Okay, man. It was great having you on. Next time we'll have you on for longer. We'll try to have you on second after our fighter guest. But it's always good talking to you, and I'm really happy that you're succeeding, man. And we'll talk to you again, buddy, okay?
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
All right, Akaash Singh. Thank you, pal. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Talk to you later.
That was fun, man.
Yes. And we had Beneil in the waiting room, so I would have talked to him for a while. And they really are generous, those guys, and they're really giving with their information. And I fucking love that.
As we're talking, I'm like, wait, we brought about the bring back. Did we talk about that before with him, or did I hear him talk about that on Rogan? Is that the first time I met him? Is it the first time he's on the show?
I've interviewed him before, and we can bring in Beneil Dariush whenever you feel.
I just know what I don't like. I don't like when I say nice to meet you, and the guy's been on before.
Yeah, good to you. This is Matt. This is why everybody just goes, good to see you. Good to see you. Whether it's again, doesn't matter.
Well, if I'm just meeting somebody, I like to be that guy.
Yeah, I totally get it. But I did it recently where somebody I had met online, like just talking to, I saw her at the Cellar. She's a comedian. And we were sitting down talking, and I thought I had seen her somewhere else. And she goes, no, we've never met in person. So she probably thought I was hitting on her, which I wasn't. I was just like, oh, fuck. I thought we'd met in whatever, but it was right. We were chatting online about
my wife has this. She doesn't talk to some people in her family anymore, but there was these aunts, right? And they were these hideous aunts. And there's one time when I first started coming around the family, big Italian family, I saw the one big large aunt, and I go, oh. And I met her. I met the sister. I never met her. I go, oh, I went to go in. I go, oh, nice to see you again. She goes, I don't know you.
Oh,
all right, okay.
I mean, why? First of all, you're being pleasant. Why call you out?
I'm with your young cousin over here. I thought maybe your niece. I thought maybe Yeah. But anyway, let's talk about that after.
Hey, Beneil.
Every time we talk to Beneil, it's he's training, man.
Always.
Unless it's an illusion, he really just jumped in and out of a shower just to look good.
Or he has the ugliest couch in history behind him.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of all of that.
How you doing, buddy?
Beneil, man? How are you, bro?
How you guys doing?
Good.
Working on my acting. I
was watching a clip of you, and you had talked about that you had mentioned possibly fighting Gaethje, and there was a couple of other fights. This is why you settled not settled, but this is how Gamrot actually came about. But you were looking for other people.
Well, I mean, let me put it this way: we asked for Dustin Poirier. We didn't even it was just chirp, nothing. We didn't hear it. I knew Justin had his injury, or he had fought and he got knocked out or submitted, whatever. He was going to be out till next year, and I said that's too long. I asked for Chandler. I didn't hear a word. Like, I was asking for Islam for the longest time, and I thought that was going to be the fight. Didn't happen. And then, like, these guys just want to alternate and fight each other. They want to stay in the top 5 and fight each other. And you know who used to say this was Charles Oliveira. And then he got into the top 5, and he started doing the same thing he was talking about. So, I looked at it, and I looked at the division. Honestly, I think Gamrot is top 5. So I don't care what the number next to him says. I recognize his skill, and I want to beat this guy. So I said, okay, Gamrot it is.
Yes. And what, you're 6. What is he ranked? Is he ranked?
He's ranked. He's top 10. I don't know what he's
he's top 10. So, okay. I think that's almost a compliment to you, Beneil, is like you're considered, he's 9th. There's no advantage because you're dangerous. And I think that's what guys look at you as they fight you and they have to fight you. Nobody, they probably see you as a tremendous risk to go down and fight. So I think that's more of a compliment. And the fact is, if I have to deal with this guy, I will. But if I don't have to, I'm not going to go down a number to fight him. I think that's just a testament to how dangerous you are.
Yeah, I think so too. And the thing is, like, this isn't the first time I fought people behind me. I fought Scott Holtzman, wasn't ranked. I fought Jakar Close, wasn't ranked. I remember I fought James Vick, and he wasn't ranked at the time, and he was undefeated. And this is before, he kind of took a downturn with his career. But, like, it's not new to me. I think one of the toughest guys in the UFC at that time was Rashid Magomedov. I wasn't even like, people were avoiding him like the plague. Took the fight, no problem. Like, this isn't new for me, This isn't anything different for me. The only thing I look at is tough fights. I want to fight the best competition in the world, and it's really that simple. You can tell I'm cutting weight, so I'm a little bit more agitated.
Listen, that's great. You don't want to curb that. You're about to fight in a cage. I look here I'm looking at the stats here, and the guy Gamrot's 21-1. I don't know why Jake the Mighty doesn't have his UFC career on here. How many is he undefeated in the UFC? He
lost to Guram Kata
4-1.
Kutalaz. I'm sorry, Guram. I love you, brother, but that's a hard last name.
All right. Well, I mean, his last how many fights? Win. And the fact that he's not a household name yet. I mean, that alone, a lot of guys, it feels like just yesterday, people were like, well, it's either Islam or Beneil or Islam fighting each other, or one of them fighting Charles. And then you went to, is it just that you're like, look, man, if I don't fight someone, I'm going to go nuts. Just give me anybody. Or you look at him and you go, he's so much quality in there. You know what you're up against.
You called it, basically. You said it exactly. I'm gonna go nuts. I haven't fought in over a year. I'm losing my mind here. Like, people always say, "Oh, you're so nice. You're so nice." I practice really hard to be nice. Being angry is a lot easier. Being a dick is a lot easier. So, like, I have to practice being nice, and I'm tired. I'm ready to get inside that octagon.
And I think, look, you both fought very tough competition, but I think you have fought overall. I think you've had a more impressive resume of the guys you fought. You fought Ferguson, you fought Barboza, you fought a lot of great people. So I think you've had a higher level of competition, definitely in the UFC.
Yeah, the thing about, for example, one of the guys I fought, Diego Pereira, first time I fought him, he was undefeated. No problem. I took that fight. I was glad to take it. Second time I fought him, he hadn't lost in 6 years. No one had beat him in like 6 years. So, like, people don't look at him like, like a quality win. Is like, but bro, like, for me, he was one of the toughest guys in the division for a long time. He took I think he made a mistake taking fights when he was injured. He fought both, what's his name? The wrestling guy, Galipsky, Gregor Galipsky, on like a 2 weeks notice. And then he fought Mateusz Gamrot, injured. He had a rib injury. In the second round, he had to stop because of his rib. But, like, bro, that guy is amazing. Like, that guy, if he was a little bit smarter with his training and taking care of his body, I think that guy would be top 5 right now. So, like, I only want to fight the best guys, and I think he was one of them. I was blessed to fight Tony Ferguson because, you know, he's one of the best lightweights of all time. Obviously, he's not where he used to be, but it was an opportunity that I couldn't pass, you know, to fight Tony Ferguson. Man, the name alone was amazing. So, like, that's all I want is the best guys in the world. Because if I keep if I keep eating these guys, eventually these guys, you know, they're gonna have to give me the belt. Like, there's only so much food on the table.
What I got excited about, I'm sorry, Jimmy. What I got excited about when I heard you were in talks to fight the champ, you know, and I know you're fighting. I'm not talking about you fighting them now. I'm saying what I got excited about, and it's the same reason why I'm excited about Islam fighting Charles Oliveira, is you guys are going to do something that a lot of other fighters aren't capable of doing, even if they have the balls to, and that's engage him on the ground. Take him down, go in the fire, fight through it, fucking put out that fire, and put him away on the floor. You're not afraid of it. These other guys, it's a safety mechanism for Charles to go to his back whenever he's dazed or anything. And it's really working to his advantage in how many his last fights. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have that option with you or Islam. That's what really got me excited.
So, like, if you watch my fight with Diego the second time, Diego Ferreira, I land a knee on him, and he's hurt. I left knee to his ribs, and he's hurt. He pulls guard, basically. He grabs me and pulls guard. And I remember the commentating. Even I was rewatching the fight. It was Daniel Cormier saying, he should let him up right now. He should let him up right now. Like, bro, I'm enjoying myself. Why am I going to let him up? You know, I'm not afraid. Like, there's nowhere you could take the fight where I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm in a bad spot. I got to get out of here. I'm terrified. You could try to wrestle. Let's wrestle. You want to do jiu-jitsu? Let's do jiu-jitsu. You want to strike? Let's strike. You want to die in there? Let's die. It ain't going to be me, man. It's going to be you.
What do you think you need to do to get a title shot? Like, how do you see, I mean, obviously you have one fight in front of you, but how do you see it? If you, I'm sure everybody looks forward. What do you think would be the best path for you to get that?
Just cut down whoever they put in front of me. It's really that simple. I don't have anything else to do. Bro, I'm not, I'm not a politician. I'm not an ass kisser. I got one job to do. Put whoever's in front of me, take them out. And that's all that there is to it. Come the 22nd. I'm just looking to take somebody's head off.
You've been to Fight Island before? I'm sorry, you've been to Fight Island before or no?
I've been to Abu Dhabi, but before it was Fight Island. So I don't know the difference, but I heard it's a little bit more open now. It's not so crazy. I'm going 2 weeks ahead of time. So I'll be staying somewhere else first. And then I'll go to, bro, I gotta get used to the change in time and get used to training late. Cause I think I'm going to fight really late. If I'm correct about it, I'm fighting somewhere around like 1 a.m.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Listen, I mean, I would go close to 2 weeks early when I fought in Vegas. I mean, there's a change in altitude there. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like 2,500 in Vegas. It's definitely, when I go to Vegas, I'll go like 8 days out and I'll go stay in the mountains in Charleston. I mean, it's beautiful. It's like a relaxation spot. I'll hang out there for a day or two with my wife, and then I'll come down and get ready for a war.
And you are the backup, I think, for the main event too, correct?
Yeah, that's what they told me.
So does a part of you, when you're training, you're obviously training for Gamrot, but is there a part of you that's doing anything different in case? I mean, not that you can plan for that, but in case?
Nah.
You can't.
Is that, like, if I'm in shape and if I've been training like I should be training, which I have been, Islam, Charles, Gamrot, like, pick the name. Like, you can pick whoever you want. It doesn't matter. If I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm the best in the world. So that's all that matters. Come the 22nd, whoever they put in front of me is food.
Because you want that shot. Yeah, so you don't really care stylistically, because, you know, there are times where guys will be concerned about this or that. You don't really care what the style is somebody throws in front of you.
I mean, stylistically, what do they do that's like, oh my gosh, I can't deal with this? Charles, he likes to throw like big shots, like knees, kicks. Cool. No big deal. I can do the same thing. I fought people who could do that. Not really an issue. Islam, he can wrestle. Good for him. I can wrestle. He can do jiu-jitsu. Great. I can do jiu-jitsu. Cardio, got it. Same thing with Gamrot. He can switch stances. Cool, I can switch stances. He can shoot takedowns. I can shoot takedowns. He can sprawl, like he can punch. There's nothing he can do that's like I haven't seen or I can't do and I can't even do better. And I think everything he does, I do better.
Do you think Oliveira, I think Chael, Matt, wasn't it Chael that said that Oliveira doesn't get the respect that he really deserves as champion? Do you think he gets the respect that he deserves or is as known as he should be?
Like sometimes he does and sometimes he doesn't. I don't get it. Like I respect him a lot. I like the way he fights. Like he goes out there and he fights with his heart, you know, like he comes back from the dead basically. Like you see him go out and around and he gets like almost 10-8
right.
round where you think he's going to get knocked out the next round. And then you see him go back. His coaches are talking to him, but something happens in his head where he starts to do this with his mouth too. He starts like biting like on his mouthpiece and he just like, and then something clicks again and he goes back out there and does the same thing. And it's like amazing. That's amazing. Like somebody who's willing to able to do that and willing to come back from the dead like that. It's awesome. Yeah. So yeah, sometimes like people don't give him respect and I don't understand why. I think Justin did that a little bit, but he changed his tune. Michael Chandler, obviously, all these guys did. They all did it, but they changed their tunes. And I think Khabib's doing it a little bit right now. And I think he should be careful. I think he really should be careful because the guy he's fighting is not afraid. And that's a scary man.
I was going to bring that up about, because, you know, there's certain guys you look at and you're like, all right, the guy doesn't really have an off switch. You gotta put his lights out. You got to put him to sleep. He's going to keep coming. And there's other guys you're like, all right, you get this guy in a little danger. He'll get the fuck out of Dodge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you've seen that before in Charles where he's been broken and guys weather the storm, whether it be Paul Felder or some of his other losses. And you're like, all right, he did it once, he'll do it again. And Justin Gaethje's kind of pointing to that. Like, look, I'm going to bring that out of him. I don't know if it's still in him. Maybe he's not. I heard Joe Rogan say he felt like it was after he had his kid. He alluded to that. Like after he had a child, he's been a different guy. Maybe it is. I don't know. It could be.
I mean,
something's different.
I had a baby after the Tony fight and I had a daughter and you look at the world differently. So it could be, it could just be one day he went home and is like, man, I'm not going to break anymore. Like, you know, maybe like he's a God-fearing man. He's like, I don't want to break anymore. Help me, you know, kind of deal. So I don't know what it is, but it's inspiring and I respect it. But at the same time, I know like if I have the opportunity, it doesn't matter because I don't need to be like the other guys where I need to put fear in his heart. No, I'm going to break you. And then when you go into your comfort zone on your back, I'm going to come over there and break you. And then when you go back in and when the round's over and you go back to your corner and they rebuild you up, no problem. I'm going to come back and break you again. I'll do it as many times as I have to. And I think that's the difference. These guys break them once and they say, oh, it's over. I got him. And they relax. I'm not that guy. I don't need to relax ever.
That's Jimmy. We call that. That's confidence. He's not trying to convince us, Jimmy.
That's right.
He believes it. Look at his eyes. Stone cold killer. Look at him. You know, now he's smiling. Now you want to pinch his teeth. And
like I told you, it's a lot easier to kill than it is to be kind.
Yeah.
It is.
And you don't need a guy's psychology to be changed fighting you. You don't need him to be afraid. You don't need to relay any message to him. You just are going to go in there and fight the way you fight.
Come your best. Like with Gamrot, like I want the best Gamrot. I don't want like, oh, this or that. I want the best Gamrot, you know, the best version of him. I would appreciate that. If I get a crappy version, it's always going to be in the back of my head. I only beat this guy because he something was wrong. I don't want that.
Spoken like a warrior. Jimmy one time told me if he ever competed, he hoped the guy had like a stomach flu or something. And he also knows about it. So the guy's really weak. Jimmy goes in and does. That's Jimmy.
Absolutely.
It's no honor in it, is what I'm telling you.
No, not at all. Remember that guy, you see that video, that guy who shit in the ring? That would be the guy I'd want to fight. The guy who shit. There was a guy who shit in the cage, and I'll take it. I'll take food.
Could you be more like
that sounds disgusting.
It was terrible. Yeah, it was terrible.
Not feeling at all.
You got to be more like Beneil like that.
I know. Well, look, man, this is a great matchup, and you due for a title shot soon. I hope this goes your way. And either way, Oliveira took a while to get it, and it will take you, but you will get it. So good luck on the 22nd, man. And I'm happy that you're fighting again. And I hope you have a great fight.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for the call. Appreciate you guys.
I'll talk to you soon. All right, take care, man.
Bye bye.
Take care, bro.
And we shouldn't do picks yet, Matt, just because it's not this week.
What were we talking about before all this shit? Before everything?
Akaash Singh, comedy.
No, we weren't. We weren't.
Oh, before I think before Beneil.
We talked about the driving instructor who was at a shitty parking job. Who else did we talk about? What else did we talk about? Bring me back. I thought we were talking about
comic books. I interviewed Todd McFarlane today. I like him a lot.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Michael J. White wasn't bad as Spawn, but it was kind of a fucked up look. And John Leguizamo. Say it again for me. Leguizamo.
Yep.
John Leguizamo. He was great as the clown, but there was something off with that movie. It wasn't great. But I heard they're doing another. Tell me what happened with Todd McFarlane.
Well, we talked to him for an hour, and he brought in sketches of. He's doing this comic book, Batman against Spawn, and there was he told me to put a little line in the cape so that my little line will be in the comic book. So like a child, I was so happy to do it. He gave me like one of his raw sketches, and I put a little line in the cape,
really?
I did like a small boy.
I thought he gave you a line like the fucking.
No, just
come get some, and you wrote.
He was great. Though. Very interesting.
Said, fuck yeah, like that type of thing.
Right, Chip. Yeah, no, he did a comic book with Ozzy too. He helped, or he helped do stuff for Ozzy's last music video. So yeah, he was a great guy.
What was he talking about? The movie coming out with the Todd McFarlane?
He didn't give us a spoiler just because he was doing something at noon, which I would love to know what the spoiler actually was, because there was something he wouldn't tell us.
ToddMcFarlane.com. What is it?
I don't know. I'm going to look it up in the last hour and see.
Sorry, Jimmy. I'll put you under these hot lights.
It's okay. I'll look up the last hour. What did he say? Let's see. I don't know. Adds Joker and Captain America 4 writers. Oh, it's a writer. Okay. They added a very big writer.
Oh, well, it's big news.
Yep, it is in that world. Yeah, very big.
Yeah, shit. Hey,
all
Jimmy,
right. Yes, buddy.
What else you got going on? We got to jump out. What a great show.
Tonight, 7 p.m., I'm at the Fat Black Pussycat. Those shows have been selling out. So if you can come down and see me, I will be there this week and next week, Wednesday night, Fat Black Pussycat.
Jimmy, I'm just teaching. I'm just having fun with my jiu-jitsu. I'm not even plugging the place. I have enough students. Somebody finds us, they find us.
Sarah BJJ.
Well, SarahBJJ.com. People come in, they go, oh, what are you doing here? I go, oh, don't be, my name's on the wall. And then we all laugh.
Of course.
And then I go, get a fucking gay on, will you please?
Yeah.
All right, listen to me. Jimmy, I will talk to you over the weekend, I'm sure. I'm just really the guy. Jimmy, you know when we talk about chemistry and friendship and all that good stuff?
Yeah. I like it.
I miss you so much. I don't have to say anything else. I just look. Goodbye, everybody.
See you, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.